Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm here with a review of the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 Marvel Legends Star-Lord. Just a quick note before we begin, I have been away for a while. Obviously it's been about 3 weeks since I last uploaded. I've just been busy with like exams and stuff. So now that's all done, there's going to be a lot of videos coming out, a very big backlog of figures to review. Some of them a couple of months old now, but I have mostly been keeping up with content on Instagram and TikTok. So I'll leave the link to both of those down below and you can go check those out. And that's where I post regularly. TikTok and Instagram, mainly Instagram, are my main, is my main page. So that's where I'm going to be consistently posting if you want to check that out. But without further ado, let's get into the box. So if I bring this forward, you got the price there. I don't know if it's completely worth it. We'll decide that at the end of the video. We've got the render of the figure, or the picture of the actual figure. We've got the Guardians logo, the other Guardians logo at the top, Marvel Legends logo there, the Builder figure there, the rest of the characters that you can get in a wave, which I might be picking up a few. I did really enjoy the movie, so yeah, that's why I thought I might as well just do this review, because it was quite popular with fans. So I'm assuming a few of you guys will want to know what this figure is like. And yeah, I want to let you know on some opinions, because I do have a few good and bad opinions about this figure. So yeah, we've got a picture on the back, and then you've got your background, classic galaxy looking photos and stuff to match the sort of Guardian setting. But without further ado, let's get into the box and have a closer look at the figure. Right guys, so here is Star-Lord out of the packaging, and as you can see, he does look great, but one big problem is he only comes with the two guns that he is holding. There is no other accessories, and for a £25 figure, that is a bit, it's not great. They should have included maybe some, I don't know, extra hands. Maybe an interchangeable head, although I don't know what they would have done for it. Maybe a screaming one or something, possibly. They couldn't have done the mask because he doesn't have it in the movie. That's very unfortunate, because this design in the comics does have the helmet with it, which that design in the comics is really, really good. So I'm a bit disappointed that he didn't have the mask, but it does make sense with, everything that happens in the movie, so I'm not too angry about it. And yeah, this movie was sensational. I mean, I wanted to give my quick thoughts about it, because that's the only reason why I picked up this figure, because the movie was really good. Otherwise, I wasn't probably going to pick up anything from this wave. I do want Rocket, so I might get it. If I do, I'll do a quick review on it, but that'll be a decision I have to make, because for such a small amount of plastic, £25 is a lot. And he also doesn't come with a lot of accessories either. I think it only comes with the gun, the big gun that he holds. So I'll have to decide. But he does look great, and with that being said, let's take a closer look at this figure. Before we take a closer look at this figure, I just want to get the problems out of the way, actually, because it's got something to do with the way he looks as well anyway. So yeah, as you can see, you should be able to tell that this leg is warped. And I've tried about 4 times. It was way worse than this though out of the packaging. It was completely just going to the other side. I tried, I think, about 4 times to fully warp it back into the position where this one is in, just a normal one. And it wouldn't go back in. It did for a bit, and then just sort of just went back to this warp position. I don't know if it's the plastic inside. I tried the hairdryer trick, and there was another joint that was warped, which was this one. As you can see right now, it's perfectly straight because I fixed it. I did see a video on YouTube on how to use the hairdryer, because I've never tried it before, and warp joints back into place. I'll find the video and link it. Huge shout out to that guy, because it did fix this one. It did fix this one a little bit, but not to the full amount that I wanted it to, but enough to the point where I can have it on the shelf comfortably now without it falling over and stuff, and it looks natural enough. So yeah, I'm not too annoyed about that. But yeah, the warping is a problem, because you don't really want to be heating up your figures too much, because, it can damage and whatnot. So that is due to the plastic-free packaging, I believe. But even with plastic cards, Marvel Legends does have some sort of tendency to just pose their figures in weird ways in the box, maybe to try and catch the customer's eye or whatnot, and it does end up warping the plastic. So yeah, it is a little bit of a problem. Plastic free is going again next year, so hopefully we'll be back to normal stuff and whatever, and that not happening. But yeah, this is the first time in a long time. Actually, the last time I did have a proper warp joint on a figure was the Avengers Age of Ultron Iron Man, which was years ago. So yeah, this is the first time in a long time that's happened to me, and it is a bit annoying, but I've managed to fix it for the most part. Shout out to the guy who made the video. I'll leave the link in the description below so you can check that out. The hairdryer trick, it is a pretty good trick, to be fair. But yeah, those are the main problems I have with this figure out of the way. So let's get into the look of the figure. So here is Star-Lord up close. You know, you can see the Chris Pratt head sculpt. It looks phenomenal. You know, it looks exactly like him. And I'm very surprised they managed to nail it, because I think this is one of the few cases where they actually have nailed it. And you know, from every angle, just it looks great. And I think besides from Hot Toys, in the 6-inch scale, this is the best one. Better than any of the SH Figure Arts. I know SH Figure Arts have revealed their new Star-Lord in this suit. Comes with Rocket. That might be a decent pickup, but the head does not look anywhere near as good as this. And I've seen people head swapping it with old Star-Lord bodies, you know, the jackets and whatever, and they look great. Honestly, I might need to pick up a Volume 2 version of the figure and do a head swap. I'll see, though, because even though he is in this suit, and this suit is really cool, you know, the Star-Lord that we know consistently is in the jacket. And yeah, I think I might have to get a version of this figure just for that. So besides from that, we come down and we can look at the suit. A very basic blue, pretty dark. It needed to be a little bit darker. I think it looks darker on video than it does in real life. It looks a bit lighter in real life, and it needed to be darker just based on accuracy and whatnot. I've seen people do give them custom, like, dark washes over the suit, and they look really good. But yeah, it needed to be darker just in general. It's quite flat. You've got your sculpting detail or whatnot, and that looks pretty decent. But in terms of coloring, there's no shading at all. It's quite flat. You've basically got your blue, your gold, and your red, and that's it. And you've got your black, obviously, for the armbands and whatnot. But yeah, it's quite flat, and it's quite basic, and you know, they've done better in the past with other figures, so there shouldn't have been any exception with this one. And coming down to the legs, you know, you've got your wrinkles and whatever in the trousers and whatnot. You've got your wrinkles in the boot, the buckles, and then you've got your belt there. The blaster's pretty basic. A little bit of extra silver on the side, which, you know, little bits of detail is always appreciated. But yeah, it's still pretty basic for what it is. And one other thing, the buttons here, if that focuses, yeah, the buttons here are painted red. When you move the arm up, which I've done, the paint on this button, because of the way that the arm is placed, has just completely come off and it's gone blue. Slightly annoying, but it's not going to affect the figure too much. But yeah, that's pretty much how he looks. Let's get into the articulation now. So carrying on with the theme of basic, you know, the articulation is pretty basic, your standard Marvel Legends. So starting at the head, we've got the head going up about that much. The joints on this are extremely tight out of the box. I heated this up so many times and the joints are still tight. They were that tight out of the box that they could have broke, like how some Marvel Legends do. So, you know, I would recommend just, you know, either doing the hairdryer trick with the joints just in general and just warming them up, or dropping him in some hot water and just leaving him there for a bit, picking him up, letting him cool off a little bit, then move the joints. It'll help a lot, especially with these joints here, because they were just like completely stuck. Now they're okay, but they were completely stuck before. So yeah, the head goes up that far, pretty good range. Down that far, pretty good range. You got your side to side, you know, 360. You've got a tiny bit of head tilt. Yeah, a tiny bit, but not much. Then coming down to the torso, we have the ab crunch going forward that far. Pretty good, basic Marvel Legends standards at this point. Going back that far, it's not great, but it'll do. Then we go into the arms. You've got, you know, full rotation. Coming out to the side, not very easily, like I said, should heat it up. You've got your biceps swivel, pretty tight as well. Tight joints are good, but not too tight. I mean, you don't want to break anything. And then you've got your double jointed arms, pretty good. The stress on the plastic here always shows on this joint. It does on the other arm as well. Actually, no, it does for one of the joints, either the forward elbow or the back part of the elbow joint. So yeah, it's just stress, I think, from the articulation, which is not good because it does mess with the color of the suit and makes it look a little less seamless. This is not pinless as well, so I don't know why this isn't pinless. I don't know when these were supposed to come out. But yeah, it's not pinless. For this suit, it should have been pinless, but it's not, unfortunately. Then we come down to the wrist. We've got the hinge going back and forth, which is fine. And then side to side swivel. And then coming down to the waist, we've got a waist swivel here. Pretty good. Standard Marvel Legends. And then we've got the, coming down to the legs, we've got the leg kicking forward that far. Kicking back, not like, it sort of kicks out to the side because of the butt. I think it's just because of the butt. Yeah, it just kicks out to the side. So yeah, not back at all. You've got your thigh swivel, double jointed knees, kicking back about that far. They feel really gummy as well. I think that is out of the packaging. That's not due to me heating them up, I don't think. But yeah, and then we've got the feet kick back about that far forward, and then kick forward about this far, which is okay. I mean, to get him into some poses. I will try and get into some poses in a bit for you guys. And then we've got a boot swivel as well, which is always appreciated. You can get some extra range out of that. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is for the articulation. Like I said, basic. This figure is pretty basic so far. And yeah, that's my opinion on it, really. It's quite basic, you know, from paint to articulation. There is a few good things about it, but overall, yeah. Let's get into some comparisons. Right, so here he is next to the Marvel Legends Amazing Fantasy 15 Spider-Man. They scale pretty well. Like, the Marvel Legends Spider-Man is sort of 6-inch bang on. Star-Lord's a little bit taller, which is fair enough because of the boots. So yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate. And yeah, a pretty decent comparison. Here he is next to the SH Figure Arts Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. And yeah, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man sits at about like 5.5 inches, and that's for most SH Figure Arts. Sometimes they tend to like ignore that for their Marvel line. I think just because they don't want to put off customers by like the fact that they won't scale with 6-inch figures. Same with their Star Wars line. So, but I don't know. I don't really think it scales. On a shelf, it would look fine, but in terms of exact scaling, I don't think it scales great. There's still quite a big height difference there. But yeah, there's the comparison. And here he is next to the Marvel Legends Spot. I don't know why I wanted to make this comparison. I just did. He was sitting on the side. I haven't done a review for him yet. It will be coming soon, don't worry. I wanted to release it closer to the time of Spider-Verse, which is next week. But yeah, here he's next to the Marvel Legends Spot. Spot seems like one of those bigger characters because he's more lanky, but he actually scales like exactly the same as Star-Lord, so yeah. And I don't really have anyone else to compare him to now because I don't actually have any of the other Guardians figures in the wave, and like even from before, I just never picked them up. So yeah, that's all for the comparison. So let's get to final thoughts. So to sum up my final thoughts on this Star-Lord, I do really like this figure. I think it is quite basic though. I think the paint, it needed more shading. The articulation could have been a little bit better in terms of maybe adapting new molds and stuff for figures like this, because the film was amazing and, you know, people do want to pick this figure up, but I feel like there may be aspects of this figure that may be stopping them. For example, just the fact of it being really basic and not as appealing to pick up. But I think the one thing that tips it over the edge is that Chris Pratt face sculpt is amazing. I think that's what makes this figure a decent to good figure instead of just being a very, very, very mediocre figure. And yeah, I can't express how good that looks. I mean, you can see it yourself, and they all look like that. I haven't seen one bad looking face sculpt, like where the paint's messed up or anything. They all look perfect. So, you know, I would recommend picking this up for yourself. I think he's going to look great. The one area where I feel like he's maybe let down is definitely the posing. I feel like he's not as fluent and it's not as fun to pose as other figures, especially other Marvel Legends such as the Spider-Man ones. I feel like he's not as fun and fluent to pose with them as with them. But I feel like on the shelf as a Star-Lord, he's going to look great. The head swaps look really good as well. So yeah, I recommend you do pick him up, but I don't know about the price because I feel like paying £25 for this, it's not easily justified in my opinion. So maybe wait for a price reduction. I feel like in the UK, he's not popular and he's left on shelves lingering. I wouldn't say peg warmer, not yet, but possibly. and maybe wait for a reduction. And that's what I'm going to do for the rest of the team, because I feel like that is going to happen soon enough. So yeah, I think you should pick up this figure if you can find him for cheaper. I don't know about paying 25. You can also wait for the SH Figuarts one. From what I've seen, you know, they've released a couple of pictures. It doesn't look as good as this, in my opinion. Like, the face sculpt looks nowhere near as good, and that's what makes this figure. And that's what you need in a live action, you know, a live action character. So, and you know, SH Figuarts' price points are quite high. So he is coming with Rocket though, so that's another thing to consider. But yeah, you can make your own decision with that one, whether you want to stay with this one or go for that one. But yeah, I would definitely say wait for a price reduction. If you do want to pick him up now though, I'll leave a link in the description. I picked this guy from Forbidden Planet, and I know Forbidden Planets across the UK have been stocking him, so you can go there if you have got one locally and find him. I think Smiths also have him, so yeah, I'll leave a link to where he's cheapest and where he's available down below. And I will be posing this guy a bit more on my Instagram, so don't forget to go and follow that. I may also release a posing video on my TikTok, so don't forget to follow that as well. Link in the description for both of those. But overall, I think I'd give this guy about 6.5 to 7 out of 10. And yeah, if you have enjoyed this review, don't forget to leave a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy my channel. Don't forget to share with all your family and friends, and I'll see you next time.